Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to integrate DALL-E with Bubble.io. So first thing is first, we need to set up the API call. So how are we actually going to get this returned image? So we need to go into the plugin section here. And we need to go to add another API. So once we've hit that, we don't need to touch any of these things yet. First thing we need to do is go over to the image generation documentation on OpenAI's website. Need to go to image generation here, and as you can see here, we have a curl call. This is exactly what we need. This is what basically talks to each other from OpenAI to Bubble and allows us to get that image generation. So we need to have that set to curl. Make sure you might have it set to Python, you never know. Make sure you hit curl. Then we can simply copy it. Code copied. Come back into this. And we can now go into import call from curl. First things first, we'll name the actual API call to OpenAI. Then we'll import another curl from call. So it was really important that we set that body to curl back on the OpenAI's website, as I said, because this needs to match in Bubble.io here. So import curl from call from curl, and we're going to paste that in there. As you can see, it automatically populates it for us. Import, and then everything's here. The two things we need to do are, we can change this as well to change to that. We need to use this as an action because we need to do workflows. If we were to set this as data, we actually can't access this call in the workflow. So we need to change that to action before we do anything. That's set to post, that's fine. Everything else is fine here for now, but we need to change this value here. So how do we do that? We go back into the documentation on OpenAI, and on the left-hand sidebar here, we have API keys. We need to hit that, create a new secret key, and I'll just call this create secret key. Copy this key. Very important you copy that key because you won't be able to see it again. So make sure you copy that. Come back into Bubble, and we need to change this value here. So highlight that and paste. And that's where our secret key now goes. I just go down to the actual body JSON here. The prompt is a white Siamese cat. So not everyone wants to generate an image of a white Siamese cat. You know, it could be anything, really anything. So we need to change this to be a dynamic value. So we highlight the actual text inside up to the quotation marks. And then as you can see here, the two carets right here for dynamic values. So we have this highlighted, and then we need to add in the open caret brackets like this, and simply write prompt with a close bracket at the end like that. Now that is a dynamic value, and once I click off this, you will now see a prompt input below like that, and the value. So everything right now is fine. The only thing we need to now do is put an actual value in for our prompt. So I did prompt that. So let's just quickly think of a prompt. So we'll just say a white Siamese cat. Very simple. We'll initialize the call. This load. As you can see, this is our return values from the API call. So easiest way to do this is to click show raw data. And as you can see here, we have a URL, and this is actually the image. So if we highlight again everything inside of the quotation marks, like so, copy, open a new tab, paste that in the URL, enter, a white Siamese cat will appear like so. But how do we actually display this in Bubble.io? So everything on the API end now is now set up, and we need to make sure we hit save here. If we don't click save, this will not work. So hit save, and that saves the call. So how do we show this in our Bubble app? First thing we need to do is I'm going to create a very basic multi-line input button with an image that shows. So we'll add in a multi-line input here. I'm not going to worry about any of the styling. We'll quickly change the page layout to a column. That's already done. And we will center this element like so. We'll make this fixed width 400. As I said, I'm not really worried about the styling here. Just worrying about showing you guys how to do this properly. Then we need a button. And we'll have that as a generate image. Get rid of the min width. Min height 48. Fit with the content. Dynamic button. Also centering that in the middle there. And then we need an image to actually show the returned value from OpenAI. So below that we'll add an image, and we will center this like so, and we'll give this same as, we'll just go 400. Aspect ratio fixed like that. Press back on the index page. Apply gap spacing between elements, and we'll just have 24, just like that. All right, so what we need to do here is create a custom state at the index, so the page level, which saves the image that is generated from OpenAI. So hit the index page, add a new custom state, and we'll make this returned image. State type is an image, and hit create. And then we need to make the dynamic value here. So it's going to be a dynamic image because we could have different things, different prompts. So we need to cater for the prompt and make the image dynamic to match whatever the prompt is. So into dynamic data, and we're going to go indexes, referencing that custom state we just made, returned image. Just like that. Okay, now that is done, so that's ready to go, but we need to actually go to the workflow section here and do all of this and make this all come together. So our action button is our generate image, so we're going to press that, add a workflow here. Now, remember I said before about using the, go back into it really quick to show you, use as action or data. If we didn't have this set as an action, if we go back into the workflow section here, we now go into the plugins and we can reference the OpenAI DALL-E. If we didn't have that set as an action, but as data, we could not use this in the workflow. So we're going to hit this here, go DALL-E like that. We're going to make the prompt dynamic. So it is going to be the value of what? Our multi-line input. Back in the workflow, our body prompt is going to be insert dynamic data, multi-line input A's, value, just like that. And then we can actually, to make this look cleaner, we will reset relevant inputs like so. And then the third thing we need to do is set the state of an element. And that state is going to be at our page level where we have the custom state made, index. Custom state is our returned image. And the value is going to be the result of step 1 OpenAI DALL-E's data. It's going to be the each item's URL. So as I showed you, that's the URL. So that's what we're referencing here. Each item's URL. And now, the call right now is expecting a list of images. So we need to reference the first URL we get. So how do we do that? We select first item here. And that is how it's done. So result of step 1. So we're making the call to OpenAI with the multi-line input A's value. We're then setting the state of the page to the value returned from OpenAI, from DALL-E. We're then displaying it in the image here. And that is everything we need to do. So if we go into preview, I will type in a input. So let's say a black bear drinking a beer, something very random. Generate image. This will now load. Takes a while as we are expecting a massive sort of payload from OpenAI, and a lot of stuff has to go on for this image to be generated. And as you can see right there, we have a bear drinking a beer. That is how it's done. And yeah, this is just very revolutionary in bubble development. You know, OpenAI is a very massive company and is leading the charge with AI. So if you aren't really adopting to their, you know, new systems and the new things they're coming out with, you're really falling behind. So this is a very cool way, and it's actually very revolutionary, this image generation through text. So that is, yeah, how you do it in Bubble.io, the simplest and easiest way. If you like this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.